What is going on, guys? Mystic Umbrella 94 here, and today I have a Wi-Fi battle here with my buddy Magnumforce51, I believe, Magnumforce50, Magnumforce500, if I got your name right. I'm pretty sure I did. All I know is your name on Skype is Apache Thunder, and this guy was a really great battler. Real quick team analysis: I have a Jirachi, Shaman, Vaporeon, Sableye, Snorlax. It's actually the one that he gave me. He has a Gardevoir, a Snorlax, a Golem, a Magnezone, a Golrock, and a Meowstic. Now, one thing I want to point out about this battle, it was very, a lot of hacks were definitely involved, and that could have really changed the nature of this battle if some attacks were to have hit, and, you know, if I were to have brought the appropriate sets for each of my Pokemon. But before, like, I start bitching about that, let's actually get into this battle. So first off, he actually starts off with his Grumpy Cat, aka his Meowstic. I go for my Jirachi. Now the first thing I thought here, I'm like, okay, I need to switch out of here, try and get some damage off on him. I know this thing was either going to be a Prankster set, but I mean, like, I figured, what can this thing really do to me, even with the Prankster set? So I figured U-turn would be the best thing for me to do. So then I head out to my Sableye. But I figured out that he actually does not have Prankster because U-turn went first before, so I was like, okay, wow. And so I go for Will-O-Wisp, and he actually goes for Safeguard, which actually counters my burn. I was like, wow, you never see that on a Meowstic every single day. So then he switches out to his Heavy Duty, aka his Golem. I believe I go for Foul Play, trying to get some damage off. Go for it, and it does some pretty decent damage, I'm not going to lie. He actually has a red card on it, which actually switches out my Sableye into my Snorlax. Now, I thought I had Brick Break on the Snorlax, but I knew that it wouldn't probably be enough to take this thing out. So I actually switch out into my Vaporeon. And right here, he actually goes for his rocks, predicting me to switch. Because he actually knows that Snorlax set, considering that it was actually his. So he swaps out his Heavy Duty. And he swaps it into his Tesla, which is his Magnezone. Pretty good play on his part. I go for Skull. That does some pretty good damage. Dimensions turn the normal, so that means bye-bye Trick Room. That means that the Pokemon aren't going to be able to move fast anymore. The slow Pokemon aren't going to be able to move first anymore. Pardon me. So I go into my Shaman, and immediately, he actually goes for Magnet Rise. So I was like, well, shit. No, I'm not going to be able to go for Earth Power. So I decided, okay, well, why not? I'm going to go for a nice powered-up Seed Power with Life Orb. I go for Seed Flare. Not Seed Power, Seed Flare. It actually does a nice chunk of damage, and it gets him to about red health. He actually goes for Flash Cannon, and that's going to put my Shaman at about 60 HP. I didn't want to take the chance of me missing a Seed Flare, so I just decided the best thing for me to do is to switch out into my Jirachi. Now, he actually goes for a Tri-Attack, which I've never really seen a Magnezone run Tri-Attack, but I understand that it does come in handy because, because of all three hacks being one. So I go for Iron Head, thinking, oh, hell yeah. And Serene Grace actually kicks in. Jirachi is a very annoying Pokemon to run in UU. A lot of people hate it, but luckily with me being able to get that Serene Grace off, I am able to take out the Magnezone. That is a pretty good threat out of the way. But then he actually swaps out into his Golrock, and I fought a lot of these things in the NU tier, and I never thought that this thing would actually be able to give me trouble up in the higher tiers like UU. So I figured, okay, he's probably going to go for some kind of ground-type attack, Earthquake. And he actually goes for the Hammer Run. I don't know what Pokemon he was predicting me to switch out to, but unusual play, but I do support it, because it could have came in handy if I would have made it in the right switch. So immediately I decided I need to cripple this thing. But then he actually swaps out into his Gardevoir. So I'm like, well, shit. That's a pretty good play because now he actually has my Prankster ability. Luckily, I'm able to get the burn off on the Gardevoir. But with that being said, I believe he actually goes for Confuse Ray. And that is able to actually outspeed my Prankster because Gardevoir has higher base speed than Sableye does. So I get confused with Confuse Ray. I get hit with myself in confusion. He inflicts burn damage to itself. So I decide I need to switch out of here because I'm probably going to need Sableye for later in order for me to take down that Golrock. So immediately I switch out into my my Snorlax because this thing is Assault Vest and this thing can take hits for days. So now he actually goes for his Mega Evolution. Look at that nice, beautiful Shining Gardevoir. I really do like that sprite. That's really cool. So Gardevoir actually goes for a round. He actually went for a round because he was actually looking for a Hyper Voice Gardevoir. But he finally got one. Congratulations to you. So he decides to withdraw his Maleficent. I was going to go for Crunch, but then I realized, maybe I should go for Double Edge in case he tries to stand. So I go for the Double Edge, and he actually makes a pretty risky play here, switching out to his Golruck. Now, he actually goes for the Earthquake, taking out my Snorlax. I've realized, I should have gone for Crunch, because even if, his Gardevoir really wouldn't have been able to do much to me anyway. And that'd probably be a dead-ass Golruck right now. So I switch into my Vaporeon. He immediately knows that I'm going to go for a Scald. And he is correct. I do go for a Scald. I figure, Scald would probably be my best option because, whatever Pokemon were to come in, I'd have a chance to burn it. He brings out a Snorlax. I use Scald. Unfortunately, I do not get the burn. I get the Lefty's Recovery. So right here, I go for Protecting, predicting what he's going to do. He actually goes for the Crunch. I don't know what he was predicting, but it's definitely not bad, I guess. So then I go for another Scald. Get some more damage off on him. Really doesn't do much damage because of that nice heavy Assault Vest. So he actually goes for Crunch on me. Does an alright chunk, but unfortunately he actually gets the defense drop. So I'm figuring, okay, well, with that, I don't really want to switch into a Pokemon that can give me a Crunch or a Double Edge. So I figured either I'm going to sack this thing off and I'm going to try and go for another burn. Unfortunately, I do not get the burn, and the Double Edge is going to come and hit my Vaporeon pretty hard. But luckily, this thing actually takes a crap load of recoil damage. See, look at that. Look at that health that just dropped. That was a lot of recoil. So I figured now would be a good time for me to go into Jirachi, get the revenge kill. I do run Drain Punch on it, so that's a dead Snorlax. I don't think he was predicting me to run Drain Punch because this is actually a Gen Jirachi back from my Gen 5 days. If you guys battled me in Gen 5 and battled against my Jirachi, this is the exact one I battled with. But anyway, down goes the Snorlax. Next off, he switches into his Grumpy Cat. With me being locked in the Drain Punch, I figured, okay, now it's time for me to switch out. Next thing I know, I go into my Sableye. What does he go for here? He actually goes for the Fake Out. Does not affect Sableye, luckily. Then he goes for Safeguard, predicting me to go for my Will-O-Wisp. I said no. I decided to actually go for... Oh, does he have... I don't know if he has Prankster, because that outsped my Sableye. Huh, that's weird. But I do get the Taunt off. He's forced to switch out because he really has no attacking moves that can hit me. I go for Foul Play, trying to get some damage off this thing. Does a really, really nice chunk the Gardevoir. I figured I don't want to get hit by a Fairy type attack. So I swap out into my Jirachi, take the hit. And Jirachi does a really good job of taking the hit too. Goes for the round. I said a little too soon, didn't I? But yeah, it doesn't really do much damage, and the burn is going to be able to finish off his Gardevoir. Luckily, that thing's out of the way, his Mega's out of the way, that's a pretty big threat gone. So then he goes out into his Grumpy Cat. I'm not able to make my move yet, so I decided I'm going to go for U-turn. And that is going to finish off his Grumpy Cat. I don't know what he was going for, maybe an attacking move, I don't know what he was going for. It's actually strange. It's kind of weird, like how he outsped my freaking Sableye, though. I was like, wow. Or, it might actually be the double switch. Yeah, that actually may be it. I don't even know, but that's so weird. So right here, I switch out to my Nidoqueen. I'm definitely predicting the Earthquake. I figured I need something to sacrifice off, because Shaman was in pretty weak shape, to take the Earthquake damage and the freaking Stealth Rocks damage. So I figured I need to sacrifice off Sableye, because Sableye really can't do much damage anyway. Unless I would have just stayed and probably went for the burn, but then again, Shaman would have been so weak to rock damage anyway, and the Life Orb pretty much would have finished him off. So right here, I go for the Seed Flare. Unfortunately, I miss. If that Seed Flare would have hit, that would have definitely been a dead Golruck. He actually, that was an unnecessary crit, I think. I think the crit didn't even matter. So then my last, I actually go for Nidoqueen. Man, if only I would have hit that freaking Seed Flare, that thing would have been dead. But unfortunately, I don't pack any moves like Surf or Ice Beam on my Nidoqueen, because this was actually the wrong Nidoqueen. I actually have two Nidoqueens that I run, and I brought the wrong one. I usually don't bring this one. I usually bring the one with Ice Beam. I usually bring the one with Ice Beam on it, but unfortunately, I didn't bring that one, so I fucked up when I was building up my team. So unfortunately, my Nidoqueen does go down. I decided, go for Jirachi, go for an Iron Head, and probably get some Serene Grace. He lives with a freaking smudge of health, and that Earthquake is going to be enough to take out my Jirachi. It was a very, very close game, Magnum. I do want to battle you again sometime in the future. I know we battled yesterday, and that was also a good game. I beat you, but you got me here in this one, so I guess we're tied for now, buddy. Whenever you want to battle me again, dude, just hit me up. This was a great battle. I had a lot of fun with this guy. Be sure to give this guy's channel a check out. He's got some really, really cool stuff. He mods stuff for like Battlefield 43. And he's just a really, really cool guy overall. So, check out this guy's channel. He's a really dope guy. But anyways, guys, I'm Mr. Gumberound94, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.